All right, good morning, advisors, and welcome to the Alpine Brokerage webinar series. My name is Dan Charlie, and I'm the host for you today, and also the president of Alpine Brokerage. Today's webinar will focus on a very important and timely topic, the Secure Act. And with us today is Thea Marasa Scafidi. Thea is an advanced market consultant and estate planning specialist at Lincoln Financial. She also holds a master's in finance. So welcome, Thea.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thea will be reviewing the changes associated with the Secure Act as well as potential opportunities for advisors and their clients. Alpine has a commitment to bringing these timely topics to our distribution. We feel it's very, very important to keep you updated and compliant with all the industry changes. Also with us today, we have Tim G. He's our regional sales director for Lincoln Financial. Tim does a great job. Say hello to everyone, Tim.
Well, hello, everybody. Good morning.
Okay, well, without further ado, let's get started. The next screen here is the disclosure screen that we'll go through, just saying that we're not responsible for anything we say on this call. So it's a good screen. And next screen is the presentation that we're going to start with Thea. So Thea, I'm going to go hand it over to you.
Thank you so much. Good morning, everybody. I appreciate that lovely introduction, and I look forward to spending about 15 to 20 minutes with you all today, just going over some highlights of the Secure Act that we believe are important and timely and actionable in your practice. So, as was said, my name is Thea Marasa Scafidi. I am an advanced sales consultant here at Lincoln. I'm part of a 5-person team that covers the entire country, every advisor, every channel, every product. So we're a busy group, but when we get the chance to bring information like this out, we're very excited to do so. So if we can move into the next slide. This slide is really at the core of what I want you to walk away with, which are the 8 changes that have happened with the Secure Act. So the Secure Act was something that had been in the works for a very long time. There was some fear initially that this law was going to not only impact our qualified retirement dollars, but for the annuity space, there was some fear that it would impact our non-qualified dollars. So I am happy to report that this legal change has not impacted our non-qualified business at all. So moving forward, your after-tax investment dollars that you have with your clients, your after-tax non-qualified annuities, they are not impacted by this law at all. But what has been impacted are those qualified retirement dollars, and there's 8 key changes. So first of all, there is now an ease of offering variable annuities inside of 401k plans. So there was always the ability to offer variable annuities inside of 401ks, but what we saw was 401k providers weren't taking advantage of that because there were strict fiduciary responsibilities around doing that. So there are some rules that carriers are now trying to parse through regarding the guarantees that they're able to offer and the portability of those guarantees. So it's not something that we're going to see launching, right away, or all these robust guarantees inside of 401ks, but we do see this coming in the future with this relaxed fiduciary responsibility. The second key change is a change to multi-employer plans. So previously, multi-employer plans had some restrictions. They had to be businesses that were either associated with one another, in a related field, or in a common geographic area. And those rules now no longer apply. So to give you an example, let's say that I own a barbershop and Tim owns a mechanic and my sister owns a IT company. The 3 of us could come together, no matter where we are located, and pool our resources into a new multi-employer plan for our small businesses. That is a big advantage to our small business clients who are looking to provide retirement to their employees. The third change that we saw is easier 401k access to long-term part-time employees. So opening up access to employees who previously did not have access to retirement savings. Number 4, there have been some tax incentives created to start a 401k. So previously, there was a tax credit offered of $500 per year for starting a 401k in your business. That tax credit has been increased to $5,000 per year over 3 years for a maximum of $15,000 in tax credits. The 5th change we saw is that it is now easier to auto-enroll, auto-contribute, and auto-escalate your retirement savings. This encourages plan participation by default and helps folks be better prepared for their retirement. Now, as I go into the last 3 changes here on the slide, numbers 6, 7, and 8, these are the things that we think are most impactful about the law and that will see the biggest impact on your business every day. So for number 6, there's no more age cap on IRA contributions. So previously, once you entered retirement age or age 70 and a half, you could no longer contribute into your IRA. That age cap has been removed. And now, as long as you have earned income, despite the fact that you may be taking RMDs, you are able to continue to add back into your IRA. There's some dollar ordering that needs to be considered, meaning that the RMD that you take out cannot be the money that goes back in, but you can still add to your IRA even if you're RMD age. That brings us to number 7. RMD age has changed. It is no longer age 70 and a half. It is now age 72. So clients who turn 70 and a half by December 31st, 2019, they're still governed by the old rules and they do need to start their RMD. But for clients who had not yet turned 70 and a half as of the end of last year, we do see that they now have until age 72 to turn on their RMD and start taking their distributions. Finally, change number 8 is the biggest change we saw, which is the essential elimination of stretch IRAs. Now, we're going to talk on the next slide about some opportunities, but for general knowledge, most clients now have only 10 years in which to remove the asset from the inherited IRA. So if I inherited an IRA from my father, I would have 10 years to unwind that asset. I would no longer have the ability to stretch that asset over my life expectancy. So that's a major change. And if we can move to the next slide. Thank you so much. Oops. Thank you. That takes us into what opportunities we see for you. So the first opportunity is just for you to be aware that clients who passed away prior to January 1st, 2020 are still being governed by the old laws. So anyone who died in 2019, even if you haven't submitted a death claim yet on those assets, they are still governed by the old laws. The new law, the new Secure Act, only takes effect for death that occurred in January 1st, 2020 and moving forward. The second thing we want you to think about is an opportunity that is provided by this law to accelerate your conversion to after-tax dollars. So taking your qualified dollars and making them non-qualified for the beneficiaries, that may be an opportunity that our clients are interested in pursuing. If you have a client who is in a rather low tax bracket, and let's say their child is a doctor, and their child's maybe in the top tax bracket, that client may say, I'm willing to pay taxes on this money today to do a conversion to non-qualified money to make it easier for my child to inherit this money in the future and not leave them with a massive tax bill at a higher tax bracket. So that's a conversation that we'll be having moving forward with our clients, making sure that, if it makes sense for them, we are either spending down our qualified dollars or paying the taxes and converting them to non-qualified dollars. The third opportunity here for you is doing beneficiary reviews. This is a great excuse to crack open your book and start talking to your clients about who their beneficiaries are. The number one thing I talk about in the field is extending your practice. What can we do? What can we outline that can help your practice grow and move forward? And the number one thing I see my advisors working on is creating relationships with that next generation. So doing beneficiary reviews, talking to your current client, who is your beneficiary, let's meet them, let's talk to them. That's an amazing way for you to help not only prepare your client better for passing their wealth, but for helping your practice to continue to grow with that next generation.
And Thea, I think the statistics are from LIMRA that 70 to 80% of the assets leave when the person that you have the relationship passes away.
That's what I've heard as well. Absolutely. So we believe that through those conversations, you can help hold on to more of those assets inside your practice. I'll speak from experience. So my in-laws about a year ago introduced me to their financial advisor. My sister-in-law lives about 700 miles from us, and my husband is not in the financial services field. So that left me with the responsibility of I'm going to be the one that helps handle their estate when my in-laws pass away. And in order to better do that, their advisor asked to meet with me. So he's already met me. We already are building a relationship, and I'll be more likely to continue to work with him after they pass away, given the fact that I have a relationship with him now. All right, so the fourth sales opportunity we see is Roth conversions. So the Roth conversion is an interesting opportunity, similar to accelerating your conversion to after-tax dollars, going from qualified to non-qualified dollars. A Roth conversion is going to be a tax event, right? Your client is going to have to pay taxes on the money inside their account, but it's going to provide an opportunity for their children to have some tax deferred growth even after they pass away. So I'm going to give you an example. Let's say you have a client and he's 65 years old and he's married and he has a child. He has some qualified dollars and he decides to do a Roth conversion. Let's say he lives another 20 years. The money is now Roth money. It continues to be tax deferred. It continues to be invested or in whatever product that you all have worked on. And in 20 years, he passes away at 85 and his wife takes over the account. Let's say she's also 85. Statistics tell us that there is I believe it's a 25% chance that she is going to live into her 90s. So let's say she lives 10 more years and that Roth money continues to be deferred and untouched in the account. She's 95 years old, she passes away, and their son inherits that Roth money. Their son now has 10 more years that he can leave that money untouched, tax deferred, and growing in an investment until he's required to take that money out of the account. So dad deferred for 20 years, mom deferred another 10, and a son is going to defer another 10 years after that. At the end of his 10 years, he surrenders his asset, he takes the asset out, tax-free, because it's Roth dollars, it's a Roth inheritance, and he's had 30 years of accumulation on those Roth dollars based on a tax event that his father took when he was 65. That's an opportunity to build a relationship and come with an idea for the next generation, again, to continue to build the longevity of your practice. Any questions? Because I feel like I just went through a lot. And
now Thea, in the Roth conversion, obviously he does have to pay the taxes out of other assets, not out of the IRA, correct?
Correct.
So you would be identifying someone that had some liquid assets, and really it would be an analysis between, what does the tax bracket look like for their non-spousal beneficiary and what is their tax bracket? And you would get involved probably with their tax planner to know how much they could really convert out of that and pay the income tax on.
Exactly.
That wouldn't affect them in other ways, but still a great opportunity to stretch those assets out. What's the other side of the coin? The other side of the coin is they leave it qualified. It passes. First 2/3 of what you said still happens, but when it passes to the son, now he has to take all that money out inside of 10 years, usually not in a lump sum, but over a 10-year period or less. And let's just say it's $1 million account, for example. That's $200,000 that's $2 million account. That's $200,000 a year, for example, that person would now take out that would be included in his income tax calculation. And let's just say, for example, they're making $70,000 or $80,000 a year, or joint with their wife $150,000 a year. Now they're making $350,000 a year, for example. And that puts them in a completely different tax bracket. And I think the conversation really in general with this opportunity with your clients is, hey, we've worked so hard to build this account. We've brought it through 2008. We've had a 10-year bull run. Who knows what the next years are going to provide to us, but let's make sure that 50% of those dollars that we've worked and squandered and sweated over every single night at the kitchen table, that 50% doesn't go to the federal government in the form of taxes for your son or your daughter. And that's a real life example that I actually have as a client, especially if they only have one child. So we're going to talk a little bit later in the workshop, the webinar, about kind of what those opportunities look like in a more granular level. But if you have clients that have large IRAs that have one or two children, I mean, they are everyone's primed to have a conversation about this, but those are the top of the list that you really need to sit down and educate your client on what the changes are and how you can address them. Because as I always say, once the husband and the wife are on the other side of the grass, nothing matters. We got to make the changes now.
Great point. Thank you so much for adding that. I appreciate it. And then just to quickly piggyback off of the Roth conversion before I move on, I'm going to just let you know, as a bit of a Lincoln commercial, we allow both partial and full Roth conversion. So maybe this isn't an answer for the entire value, but we would allow you to convert a portion of it as well. So it's not an all or nothing proposition that we're making. Okay. Opportunity number 5 is charitable remainder trusts. So charitable remainder trusts are inherently complex, and they are something that we generally see for our higher net worth clients because they can be expensive to set up. But if you do have a client who is charitably inclined, the idea that we have seen get some traction out in the field is one where the client decides to leave their IRA to a charitable remainder trust, of which they've named their heir, let's say their child, as the income beneficiary. What this does is it allows the CRT to take on that qualified asset without a tax burden to the CRT, and then turn around and produce an income stream based on these now non-qualified dollars to that beneficiary for the rest of their lives. So it's a little bit of a tax play mixed with an income play, mixed with a charitably inclined client conversation. Definitely for your more high net worth clients, and something that I would rather take offline to discuss in more detail. But know that for those clients that are charitably inclined and have a good amount of qualified dollars, this is an idea that we have been discussing in some detail.
Thea, if I could just add one thing there,
Yeah.
Quick commercial for Lincoln. You could also use those dollars to purchase a tax-free life insurance policy death benefit that would pay to the beneficiary as well.
Yes.
Just something to think about there as far as those dollars coming out of that CRT.
Absolutely.
Going in, and really, if you structure the strategy correctly, you can pass pretty close to the entire amount of the IRA that you gifted to the charity in the form of a tax-free death benefit to the child. So the child gets the death benefit. They don't have to spread it over 10 years and take out the taxes, and the charity gets the money as well. And of course, they don't have to pay the taxes on it either. So if anyone has those clients, please see me after this webinar.
Yeah, it's definitely a one-on-one conversation. I wanted to put that little teaser out there, but it's not something that I wanted to go into too much detail. But that is a great point. Utilizing life insurance to pass on those dollars in a more efficient way is a great idea as well. So number 6 on my slide is the use of special needs trusts. So special needs planning is something that is very near and dear to the hearts of those of us on the advanced sales team here at Lincoln. We have special needs folks, loved ones in our families. We have friends who have children with special needs. It's something that we spend a lot of time focusing on because we understand that special needs planning is something that is, in our eyes, rather underserved in the overall planning conversation. So through this new law, and what we're going to talk about next are some eligible designated beneficiaries. There is an exception made for folks who are disabled. And the law has specifically outlined that if you have a special needs trust for the benefit of a disabled person, that trust is going to be given stretch options that other trusts and other beneficiaries will not get. So there is still opportunity for a lifetime stretch within a special needs trust if it is structured correctly. And then number 7, the biggest sales opportunity is going to be stretch opportunities for eligible designated beneficiaries. So eligible designated beneficiaries are a specific class of beneficiaries that has been laid out in the Secure Act that are going to have the opportunity to follow the old rules, to do a lifetime stretch. And those beneficiaries are the spouse, a minor child of the IRA holder until they reach the age of 18. So let me explain why that's so specific. So that doesn't mean that it can be their grandchild. It has to be their minor child. And that stretch is not a lifetime stretch. It's a stretch of income until they turn 18. And then once they turn 18, that 10-year rule is now going to apply. So if a 8-year-old inherits an IRA from their parent, they are going to have 10 years of income from that IRA. And then once they turn 18, they're going to have 10 years to empty out the account. Someone with chronic illness, that is defined as unable to complete 2 activities of daily living. Someone who is disabled under the IRS definition, and there are specific definitions of disability in the tax code. And then finally, a beneficiary who is not more than 10 years younger than the IRA owner. So think sibling. So my sister just turned 30 years old yesterday. She is within 10 years of me. She's within 10 years younger than me. If I passed away, she would be able to take a life expectancy stretch because she is within 10 years of me if I left her my IRA. So more than 10 years younger, they're going to be limited to the 10-year rule. And that's really it. That's what I want you to walk away with today is what we went over on these last 2 slides. You know, there's some sales ideas in here. There's some good information that I think you can walk away with and hopefully feel more confident. If your client sits down with you and says, hey, I just heard that Congress passed this new law and it affects my retirement and what do I do? You, I hope, will feel more confident in having that conversation moving forward. And please know that you have the resources behind you with Alpine and Lincoln to help you in any way we can to have that conversation more clearly.
Oh, thank you very much, Thea.
I'll send it back to you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you very much, Thea. This was all very helpful info. I know as an advisor and in sales in general, it's important that we take very complicated things or things that are perceived as complicated and boil them down into very simple terms for our clients. That's what we do. And that's kind of what we've done here for you today. There's 1 Secure Act, there's 8 changes, and there's 7 opportunities. Right now, I'd like to open it up for questions. There is a chat box in, if you're dialed into the webinar, there is a chat box that you can go into. We are going to do question and answers by chat, and then I just have one quick slide, and we'll close it out for everyone. So we'll leave it open for questions right now. Okay, I have a question here from Nick Lappy in our office. Nick, here's the question. The question is there any particular products or changes that Lincoln has done, and this may be going to Tim, in order to address or accept these new changes?
No, as it looks at this point, I mean, certainly a big thank you to Thea there for outlining that. All of our products, work just the same. Certainly, we will accept the business within that 10-year rule as well if it needs to be, liquidated. So for those clients that are looking to enjoy a little bit more deferral, and leverage, the power of an annuity. Certainly they can, elect to put money in an annuity as a, obviously it's not going to be a lifetime stretch, but if they want to gather some more, tax deferral and some opportunities for growth, feel free to leverage, an overall annuity and then liquidate it on their terms, obviously within that 10-year period as well. So no, there was no, special changes that were required because of the Secure Act.
And Tim, will Lincoln accept a inherited Roth IRA in an annuity, non-spousal?
Sure.
So, in my opinion, that may be another opportunity for your clients. Nothing like a product that gives lifetime income that's tax-free in the form of a Roth, especially if you're inheriting it from a parent or someone else. So great opportunity there as well.
Yeah, and I mean, just to be clear there too, so we will certainly accept it, and you can, have the benefits. Now, you can't have lifetime income riders on inherited qualified. You can't have them on qualified IRAs or qualified, obviously Roth status. You still have to follow the 10-year liquidation rule, and you would just have to liquidate it through, withdrawals versus a lifetime income rider. But certainly, as Thea talked about, if you're looking to maximize, you inherited after your, let's say your parent passed, you could put it into an annuity, obviously still maintain tax deferral indexing with 100% downside protection, let it grow, and at the end of the 10 years, liquidate the contract and take it out completely tax-free. So you can still, certainly enjoy that status. Yep.
Thanks for that clarification. I appreciate that. Yeah, that's
absolutely. Piece. Thanks for the question. Yep.
Okay, next, I just wanted to, before we let everyone go, let you know that Alpine is running our double credits program towards our industry leading event. It's our practice builder workshop that's going to be happening at the Wynn in Las Vegas, May 13th through the 15th in 2020. It's going to be a beautiful event, and it's always an industry leading event. Our advisors walk away with some great opportunities. So please contact your account executive for details on this. And lastly, I would say that no matter where you are in your business, some of you work with Alpine, others on this call don't. But no matter where you are on your business, whether you're looking to make money, or make more money, or you're looking to streamline your business processes, or you're just looking to belong to a group of like-minded entrepreneurs, Alpine Brokerage has a great platform for you. So I encourage everyone, after you get off this call, to call your account executive. That number is 866-777-2006. You can get all the details on this program. And the Secure Act, our workshop happening in Las Vegas, and some of the unique marketing campaigns that we have going on. So again, Thea, thank you so much for taking your time out today and helping us to boil this down to a very simple, understandable few slides. Tim, thank you for your industry insight, and really appreciate all of the attendees on today's call. And we look forward to having more of these in the future. So thank you very much and have a wonderful day. Good selling. Good luck selling.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Ding, ding, ding. Oh, good job. And we're out.